Hey everyone! In this video we will discuss the scope of variables in Java versus JavaScript. For JavaScript we will only be addressing var variables here, but note that JavaScript also has let and const variables. I picked a code example of JavaScript from love2dev.com, and you can find the link in the description of this video. Let's check out the JavaScript first. I have it here in an online compiler. So here we declare the code declares a var variable called len with a value of 10. Up next we have a for loop which declares a var variable called index with a value of 0, condition of index less than len, and then index plus plus, which increases index by 1 each iteration of the for loop. Inside of the for loop we have a declaration of a var variable called inside, which is set equal to index with each iteration of the for loop, and then it logs the value of inside to the console. And once we leave the for loop, it logs the value of inside to the console once again. Next, we'll check out the translation of this code to Java. You'll notice a lot of the syntax is similar, but there are notable differences. For example, Java declares a type of the variable, and it uses a different method of printing. So here, we have the class declaration and then the main method, which is necessary to run the Java code, but inside that's where the translation of the JavaScript is. So we have a declaration of an int variable, so notice it has a type here, int len equals 10, and then the for loop looks very similar to what we saw in JavaScript. For, here's the int again, so int index equals 0, index is less than len is the condition, and then index plus plus tells the computer to increase index by 1 with each iteration of the for loop. And inside of the for loop we declared another int variable called inside, which is set to equal to the value of index each iteration of the for loop. And then here it logs inside out to the out port, and then here outside, once we exit the for loop again, it also tries to print the value of inside. So let's see how the results compare when we run, given that they appear to be an exact translation. We'll do the JavaScript first. So here, if I click run, we can see that we print out the numbers 0 through 9, and then 9 again at the bottom here. Let's compare with the Java. So if I click execute here, we get an error. Why are the results different? This illustrates the difference in scope of var variables in JavaScript and variables in Java. In Java, the index variable and the inside variable is only accessible from within the for loop, from inside the loop. So, when we try to access the inside variable here to print it outside of the for loop, we get an error. If we comment out the print outside of the for loop, we should be able to run the code without any issues. Let's try it. So I'm commenting this here, and running execute. And as we can see, we print the numbers 0 through 9, so it's just running this print here. Now if we compare back to JavaScript, let's talk about what's happening here. So this illustrates that JavaScript var variables are always give global scope. So here, var len equals 10, we can use len anywhere in the program. And that's just like Java. However, this var inside here and this var index here as well, both of these are also global variables. And they can be used anywhere. So that's why we were able to print inside once again, once we were outside of the for loop, even though inside is a variable that was declared inside this for loop. Java variables are only in scope within the curly braces from where they are declared. So here, int inside is inside the curly braces of the for loop, and therefore we're only able to access it from inside of these curly braces, inside the for loop here. And if you try to access them outside of its scope, you will get an error like we did here. Thank you for listening, and I hope you learned about the difference between declaring var variables in JavaScript and variables in Java.